Hello, Australia. This is John Lennon of the Beatles here. I hope you're all having a great time over there.
This is Paul speaking. We're hoping to come over soon and visit Australia.
This is George. That's if you move it a few thousand miles nearer.
Hello.
That was Ringo, folks.
Well, what can I say?
And goodbye.
It's wet, cold and windy, and some 3,000 or 4,000 teenagers have been waiting, many of them right through the night, to welcome their idols, the Beatles, from Britain.
Well, the first passengers are coming up the plane, and yes, there are the Beatles. The hair is mussed. You would hardly recognise them as Beatle mops. The hair is everywhere. It's hard to make them out at the moment, Kevin, as they come down. The umbrellas look like exaggerated Beatle wigs.
What did you think of your wet welcome today?
Very good. I thought they were very nice coming out in all that rain.
Yeah, it was great.
Did you enjoy the rain?
Oh, yeah, well, funny standing there in your new coat.
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't understand it. I still don't know why it happened. It's never happened quite like that since. I think there was 650,000 population, and at least 350,000 turned out.
Well, fellas, tell me, what did you think of the Adelaide reception?
That was great. The best ever.
Was it like what I mentioned to you on the plane it would be?
Yeah, it was better. Yeah.
Was it like anything you've ever had before?
No, we've never done one of those drives as well. It was marvellous.
How would it compare with the ones in the United States when you arrived at different states there?
bigger. It was bigger.
Just more people.
Do you think it was very well conducted?
Yes, so everybody was well behaved.
Did you get a fright at all outside the town hall?
Shock. You know, because so many.
You're very aware of everything around you.
Yeah.
Well, I think you got to be, you know, you might get shot.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Beatles.
You couldn't hear anything, except when they finished the song. The applause, screaming, faded a little, and you could hear Paul say,
Thank you.
Hello, Bob Rogers in Australia. This is John Lennon of the Beatles here. Hope you're okay, Bob.
none of us knew at that time the Beatles were going to be as unbelievably successful. There's a well-known picture of me having my hair cut by the Beatles, but I could have had so many other pictures with walking off the plane with them. So many, but I didn't realise just how long-lasting they'd be. I interviewed Jimmy, who had arrived the day before and went down to Checkers nightclub here in Sydney, where Frances Faye was appearing. And Frances must have asked him to join her on stage. So Jimmy told me after the show that he was coming back to Sydney to play at Checkers with Frances Faye, and he was looking forward to it.
Jimmy, I believe you've got your final performances tonight, and then Ringo arrives tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right. I'm looking forward to meeting him.
And then it's all over for you. What's going to happen? I hear you may not be going back to England.
Not for a little while, no. Fancy going back to Sydney.
But of course he didn't do that. Unfortunately, the promoter said, you're getting on the plane and going straight home. He did, and he was virtually forgotten ever since.
Here's the first Beatles to land in Victoria.
The Beatles were very exciting for us, and Melbourne in those days was very dreary. So an arrival of such a world-renowned pop group was just fantastic.
The crowd now has broken down from Collins Street. They're running down Exhibition Street. The Beatles are arriving with a police escort, 2 police cars, a mounted police escort, motorcycle police. This is not the Beatles. This is a diversionary measure. This is a police escort without the Beatles. They fooled the fans. The Beatles are making an entrance through the back of the hotel. This is a diversionary measure. The cars are pulling through. The fans are going mad, but the Beatles aren't here. They're around the back of the hotel.
We all loved them. Even I remember at university one of my tutors saying that she approved of them because their hair looked clean. It was a different world, and that swarming of young people on the street was like I'd never seen that in my 20-year lifetime.
We hope you've enjoyed the show tonight. Have you enjoyed it? Good? Yeah. That's it, one more thing. It's very nice for all of us to have back with us now Ringo.
I went with my boyfriend at the time. We all screamed so much I don't know if I could actually hear them. I think the boyfriend at the time must have been extremely tolerant because he was surrounded by screeching young women, and it was just the most fabulous, exciting concert.
Every day and every night there was knocking on the door by girls who'd booked into the hotel and would say to me, let the Beatles know we're here, we're in room so-and-so.
As a 10-year-old, you kind of just like going to the zoo or something, I imagine. I mean, it was exciting to be a part of the whole mania that was happening, and we did experience it. It was pretty amazing, just being a part of the throng, really.
And now, by kind permission of the Beatles manager Brian Epstein and Ken Brosiak of Aztec Services, who brought the group to Australia, let's go into the Sydney Stadium for exclusive scenes of the Beatles performance.
It was so exciting. The atmosphere was electric. You know, you're thinking, I've read about them, I've seen them on TV. Oh my God, I'm actually going to see them in the flesh. It was amazing. It was so amazing that I cried all the way through the show. And I remember John turned around and looked at Paul and they just laughed. I don't know whether they were laughing at us or the situation, but they laughed and then they just started playing, and it was the best thing since sliced bread. It was fantastic.
I was only 16 at the time and got 2 tickets, amazingly, very good seats, and I was just blown away by the whole experience. I was in row 5. They were like in touching distance. I thought, oh, I'm going to run away with a Beatle. I could hear the songs because I was so close to the stage and almost at the same level as they were. So I could hear it really clearly, and it was, of course, it was very loud, and of course the girls are screaming and going crazy, but that was sort of a background to the experience of hearing them. Oh no, it's really clear and very easy to hear everything.
How are your opening performances in New Zealand?
They were very different from Australian, you know, because Australians, I think, are much wilder people anyway, you know. It's very exciting to play a show in Australia. But here, it was a different kind of thing, you know, because they're all very conservative.
Can't wait to come back to Brisbane.
Yes, can't wait to see Brisbane.
Keep the sun shining.
The sunny climate.
It's 12:30 a.m., but Brisbane's airport's crowded. Why? The Beatles are on their way from New Zealand, so Beatlemania's move north. And here they are, John, Paul, George and Ringo.
There was one city they hadn't played. It was Brisbane. And I took leave. I said, I can't do it anymore.
That boy took my love away. You regret it someday.
I'm famous for having said when it was all over, I was exhausted. In 2 years' time, no one will want to know the Beatles because they've been so overexposed. You can be wrong often.